try it one more time, all right? Are we ready?
Yeah.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Nice. Thank you. Thank you for being here tonight. We are so pleased to be here to host again the Alumni Association Awards to kick off homecoming. Now, I didn't make it to the bonfire last night because it was a little bit past my bedtime. I hear that it was great. And we're very, very delighted to be in the new facility. Performing Arts and Humanities. And hopefully you had a chance to walk around and see the facility, the Dance Tech Studio. You can just envision the performances that will happen in the years to come. The Alumni Awards ceremony is the Alumni Association's signature event of the year. And I'm always so impressed by the breadth and depth of my colleagues' contributions to their professions, their community, and to UMBC. And in addition, this year we've added a new category of outstanding faculty to recognize extraordinary teaching. And it feels great to be part of the UMBC community and a part of this special evening. So thank you very much for joining us. The awards that we bestow tonight are presented by the UMBC Alumni Association in coordination with the Office of Institutional Advancement and with the support of the UMBC community. The nomination and selection process is a year-round endeavor led by the Alumni Association Board of Directors Awards Committee. And I'd like to acknowledge Irina, our Awards Committee Chair, who will speak a little later in the program, and introduce our award winner. So please join me in thanking Irina for all of her hard work and for leading the committee who chose this year's honorees. Besides tonight's Alumni Award recipients, I would also like to recognize our past recipients of Alumni Association Awards who are listed in the program book. If anyone was able to join us tonight, I'd like you to please stand. Do we have any past recipients? Let's give them a hand. Yes. So thank you very much for coming back to celebrate with this year's honorees. In addition, I'd like to acknowledge our generous sponsors for this evening. Our True Grit sponsors are the UMBC Training Centers, Potomac Photonics, and Kara Freeman, who's a member of our alumni board. Let's give them a round of applause as well. The support of these and other sponsors, along with our other alumni activities, allows the Alumni Association to award student scholarships. This year, we provided 16 scholarships, and our students are extremely grateful. I'd like to read a few comments from the awardees provided in interviews. One student said, "My decision to attend UMBC was the smartest choice financially, but that did not mean there were not struggles. This scholarship support shows me that there are great people out there who want me and other students to succeed. It's a great feeling, and I plan to pay it forward someday. I plan to attend graduate school to obtain my master's in public health and with a goal of gaining a PhD and becoming a health educator." Another student said, "I come from a single income household, so paying for my college education is not something that I can just have my parents do. Getting the scholarship support makes it easier for me to attend school and lightens the debt load. I know that I make my parents proud with what I do, and the people who provided the scholarship are helping me make that possible." As demonstrated by these comments, Our UMBC students are quite amazing. I'm delighted that we are able to provide this financial assistance, and I hope that we can continue to grow our fundraising capacity. So please take a moment to congratulate our scholarship recipients as you see them this evening. It is now my pleasure to ask President Freeman Hrabowski to make some welcoming remarks.
So it's very interesting. People gave me so many comments and notes, and I watched Ken as he was making his remarks, and I watched him do something that was very interesting. He moved from beyond the lectern, and he came out here. And it reminded me that this is an amazing space. There's something, you feel it. You feel this sense of community. I feel like I can touch each one of you right here. We're having a conversation. And I decided, Diane, just to have a conversation for a minute, Greg, and talk about UMBC. It is such a special place. And Josh and Jacob are here somewhere tonight. They're in the 7th grade and 9th grade, and at least one of them is considering UMBC, and I'm trying to get the other one to consider UMBC, right? And I gave them a math problem tonight, and they're thinking about it right now. And I want to convince them this is the place for them, all right? So they are my evaluators tonight as I talk. What is interesting about this university that opened its doors in 1966 is that few people could have imagined that in under 50 years we could have become such a national model of inclusive excellence. A university that has students from over 150 countries that could have produced the kinds of alumni we have here tonight who are absolutely superb. You'll get a chance to get a sense of the quality of people from the arts and humanities, from the sciences and engineering. This space is very special. We take great pride in producing students who do superbly. You've heard the information from U.S. News that we are number one up and coming, and it has everything to do with academic innovation. That list has campuses such as University of Southern California, all the way to Arizona State University, and it talks about institutions that have focused on changing the quality and thinking about who they are. And this is our 5th year or 6th year as number one, and people say, well, Freeman, when will you arrive? To which I respond, the moment at which we arrive will be the moment at which we begin to go the other way. We never arrive, because success is never final. We're delighted to continue to be up and coming. This is the point about life itself. But the list that is really exciting is the top 10 list. And I want you to hear this list because who could have imagined 40-some years ago that a young university in Catonsville would be on such a list? This is for the best undergraduate teaching among national universities in America as measured by the presidents and provosts of the national universities, from Harvard to Stanford. It lists, and this is in rank order, Princeton, the College of William and Mary, Miami University in Oxford, Ohio, Dartmouth, the University of Maryland, Baldwin County. Now let me take my time in telling you who's after us. Because I enjoy it so much. Allow me to be just a bit small, all right? It's Brown, Stanford, Vanderbilt, and Yale. Give us one more. Success, quite frankly, is in partnering with a variety of places. The key to our success is that we have superb faculty, from theater to biochemistry. We have actually been to the Kennedy Center 7 times in the past 25 years. as a part of the American College Theater Festival. It's the most prestigious universities in the country. And we are absolutely superb. We like saying that Beckett is our muse. We do the kind of theater that either depresses you or pisses you off. This is us in theater, all right? And quite frankly, when you go and see the Imaging Research Center, when you see what we do in dance and music, you'll get that point. And this is the building from the arts and humanities and what you see in philosophy and what you'll see on the stage with our orchestra. It's absolutely phenomenal. We'll open this part of the building next week, and I hope you'll come back to the performances. But today is special because we announced at the research level, and I think Carl is here, I think I saw, it's really special that we have just partnered with the MITRE Corporation and UMBC with College Park, a federally funded research and development center, and the first of its kind in cybersecurity in the country, with NIST, this FFRDC in cybersecurity. Huge deal, valued at $5 billion. Big round of applause, please. Big part of that. Well, all we need is a few percentage points of that, all right? But it's really wonderful. And the lead technical person is a UMBC professor. So it's a wonderful story, and we're very delighted about it. But the key is that the partnerships we have with the Howard Hughes Medical Institutions, you'll hear from one of our investigators today, all the way to the Engineering Research Center in partnership with Princeton, to the work we do with the Gates Foundation. All these things have led to our alums, like the people on the stage, doing so well. And so we now have faculty, alums who are on the faculty, tenure track or tenure at Harvard and Stanford and Duke, University of Michigan, all the way down to the University of Alabama, to the chair of surgery at Vanderbilt, to Hopkins. It is an amazing story. Clemson, the president of Clemson is our graduate. At a time when women are not going into information systems and computer science, at a time when this year, under 1% of the women declaring majors in computer science, 1%, under 1%. The CIO at Hopkins is a UMBC graduate. Think about it. We've got Claudia on stage today, one of the most powerful women in the world in IT. Big deal. We can say, we are trying to give her a hand. Information systems, a woman graduate of UMBC. So whether talking about the arts and humanities or information systems, we are seeing the difference that we're making. And so tonight we celebrate alumni who are making a difference in the world. And what that says is this young university has thought about the question, what should a university do when it wants to be known as special? And I would say this: we believe in the life of the mind. People say, you don't have a football team. No, but we have thinkers. We have thinkers who care about the problems of the world. And we are determined to show America and the world that we care about people, we care about the truth, we care about beauty, we care about the arts, and we will be the ones who will say, when they look back on this campus, they dared to dream about the possibilities. Welcome to UMBC.
Nothing quite so relaxing as following one of the most interesting men in the world. Thank you, Freeman. We find it incredibly exciting to hear about all the success that UMBC, the faculty, staff, the students are having in the world. My name is Irina Vishnevetsky, and I am a member of the Alumni Board and the chair of the Alumni Awards Committee. We have worked really hard to assess the amazing nominations that were submitted, And it's a very difficult process, but one that instilled pride as we reviewed the work of our distinguished alumni. I'd like the committee members to stand as I call their names and ask that you hold your applause until all have risen. Bennett Moe, who is the immediate past president of the Alumni Board, Alumni Board member Kara Freeman, Kent Malwitz, Kevin Mulrow, Dr. Crystal Watkins, a prior award winner, and Samantha Pittman, as well as our current president of UMBC's chapter of Young Alumni, Heather Wilson. Thank you for your service to the Alumni Association and to the university. And now, on with the ceremony. Our first award will be presented to our Outstanding Alumna of the Year in Engineering and Information Technology. Dr. Claudia Pierce, a 1989 Master's of Science and a 1994 PhD graduate in computer science, was nominated by Dr. Charles Nicholas, professor in the Department of Computer Science and Electrical Engineering. Dr. Nicholas will introduce Claudia.
Good evening, everybody. Oh, I like the acoustics in this room. Isn't this nice? I'll have to go on for about 75 minutes. It's certainly a pleasure for me to be here this evening as we honor so many of our distinguished alumni. And it's certainly a pleasure to introduce the award winner for the College of Engineering and Information Technology. Claudia is one of the many thousands of people and many hundreds of UMBC alumni who have made it their life's work to serve our nation and the cause of freedom by working in the intelligence community. Much of Claudia's career has been spent in the National Security Agency's research and development activities. Through the work of Claudia, her colleagues, and corporate and university partners around the country, including UMBC, we are able to make better use and better sense of the volume and variety of information that comes our way. Since assuming the role of Senior Computer Science Authority, to such a young person, I don't know about Senior Computer Science Authority, but there she is. Since assuming that role, Claudia has become responsible for professional and technical development of one of the agency's largest and fastest growing professional communities. In addition to these activities, Claudia has found the time to be involved in ongoing research projects in the CSEE department and has worked with the Center for Women in Technology in their efforts to create a larger, more capable, and more diverse labor force. Please join me in congratulating Alumni Award winner Dr. Claudia Pierce, and I'll ask her to come up here.
Wow, I feel like I'm at the Oscars here. There are a lot of people that I'd like to thank. First, my colleagues in the computer science department here at UMBC, Charles, Tim, Yelena. Anupam's not here today, but without all of you guys, I wouldn't have been able to go on this wonderful technical journey, so thank you for that. I'd also really like to thank Kevin Ford, who's in the audience here, and the folks in the Technology Directorate who allow me to really sort of have this carte blanche to do these crazy things I want to do, so thank you very much. My family, my parents couldn't be here tonight, but I would like to thank them. They gave me, they instilled in me that I could really do the math because I was worried about that, but it worked out. So so that was a really helping thing. My brother is here tonight, Professor Emeritus. And he probably doesn't remember this, but he helped me with my first electronics programming project when I was in the 6th grade. So thank you, Brian. He has no clue, and I'll tell him about that. Teresa, my niece, you're like, my daughter, my sister, my BFF, Thank you so much. And last but not least, my husband. my genius husband, Jonathan. I couldn't have done it without you, especially that compiler course.
We got Claudia. Claudia.
Our next award will be presented to Miss Donna Lewis, an English major who graduated in 1986. This year's Outstanding Alumna in the Humanities, Miss Lewis was nominated by Richard Byrne, class of '86, editor of UMBC magazine. Mr. Byrne will introduce Donna.
So good evening, everyone. I really can't believe I'm standing in this room. It's pretty amazing. So Donna Lewis, 86 English, by day is an attorney with the Transportation Security Administration in Washington, D.C., where she's a unit chief of that agency's Office of Professional Responsibility. She's worked in government as a lawyer at TSA and at the Department of Homeland Security for much of the last decade or so after a successful career in private practice. Now, for most people, that might be more than enough career success. But Donna Lewis has another line of work in which she's been, I would say, even more successful. As everyone knows, the decline of the print newspaper has led to a corresponding decline in one of the great art forms associated with it, the comic strip. Shrinking newspapers have cut down on the number of comic strips they run, but Donna wasn't daunted by those odds. Reply All was the comic strip Donna created about the opportunities and anxieties faced by professional women in the 21st century, with a healthy dollop of familial angst thrown in for good measure. The strip quickly found a home with the Washington Post Writers Group, a feat that defies any easy comparison. Amy Lago, the head of the group, told the Baltimore Sun in 2011 that, quote, "We probably receive a couple thousand submissions a year. We maybe pick up one or two a year. It's incredible odds, like winning the lottery. I'd say it's like having your first musical go directly to Broadway, or your first film script picked up by Disney." So why did it happen? Why do thousands of people read Reply All every day? Mostly because Donna's strip is hilarious and real. Real hilarious. It mines the human condition as it exists in coffee shops and office politics and yoga class and by the glow in your living room of reality TV. Reply All commands your attention by finding the spaces in each day where our spirits rub up unexpectedly in laughter and occasionally in humor against the familiar challenges and pleasures and boredoms of the quotidian. I'm proud to be Donna's fellow alumnus and proud to have been her classmate. I'm delighted to present to you this year's winner of UMBC's Alumna of the Year Award in the Humanities, Donna Lewis.
I'm still writing my speech. I really, what I want to do now is respond to everything he said. That's the lawyer part of me. I just want to say thank you. The lawyer part of me wants to thank UMBC because now I can put this on my resume and get more money. The cartoonist part of me wants to apologize to about 15 of you in this room and on the stage during the reception. You gave me a lot of material and I'm going to use it. Okay. I was an English major, so as an English major, I'd like to thank UMBC and remind everybody out there who's up and coming and rising up and getting out there, no matter how brilliant you are, and no matter how hardworking and driven you are, you'd better be able to read and write and communicate. And I'm at the Department of Homeland Security, and I will tell you, we're having quite a problem with our incoming folks who don't know how to read and write and communicate. So I would encourage everybody to put somewhere on their resume that you have studied writing and that you know how to write, because the written word is the major form of communication right now in national security, if that's what you want to go into. As an alumni of UMBC, I'd like to thank you for giving me a voice, for appreciating my voice, for giving me confidence, which I definitely got here, for giving me a family of BFFs, You all know what that is, right? Yeah. And also for giving me a foundation from which I have had incredible opportunities, really incredible opportunities. Finally, as a daughter, I would like to thank my parents for being here tonight and ask you to limit your CNN watching to 1 hour when you get home tonight. And finally, somebody really brilliant stood on this stage a little while ago and talked about the life of the mind. And I would like to thank UMBC for enabling me to bring my mind to life.
Donna? Oh, that was so beautiful. She told me I'm now a cartoon.
Our award for Outstanding Alumnus of the Year in the Natural and Mathematical Sciences is presented to Mr. Michael Adelstein, who graduated in 1996 in Biochemistry and Molecular Biology. He was nominated by Ellen Hemmerly, Executive Director of BW Tech at UMBC. Ms. Hemmerly will introduce Mr. Adelstein.
Good evening, everyone. I'm really delighted to be nominating. Oh. Well. Okay, I'm trying not to, but it's a little hard. Anyway, I was delighted to nominate Mike Adelstein for the Natural and Mathematical Sciences Outstanding Alumnus Award. I met Mike a few years ago when he approached me about locating his company, Potomac Photonics, at BW Tech, and BW Tech is UMBC's Research and Technology Park. Mike wanted to move Potomac Photonics here for all of the right reasons, we thought. He wanted to grow his company. He wanted to be affiliated with UMBC. He wanted to collaborate with faculty, and he wanted to hire students. When I think about Mike, and I've only known Mike for a few years, but I think I have a pretty clear sense of who he is. When I think about him, several words come to mind: persistence, caring, loyalty, and entrepreneurship. Mike was very persistent in making the move to BW Tech a reality. We had quite a few obstacles to overcome, but Mike never lost sight of his vision, and our vision, our collective vision. Mike is very caring, and for those of you who know him, it's very obvious in the way he talks about his family and the way he treats his employees. Mike is also very loyal, both to his employees, as I've seen, and thankfully for us, to his alma mater. And Mike is entrepreneurial. He successfully is building an innovative micro-manufacturing company which develops technologies and devices to treat diseases and to solve many challenging problems we have today. So please join me in congratulating Mike on this much-deserved honor.
Wow. I don't know what to say, but first off, Ellen, thank you so much, because really, you have meant the world to me, to Potomac, and facilitating the move and making our dream come true of coming here back to BW Tech and UMBC. I'm so appreciative of it, and it just...
Well, you're very, very welcome.
Thank you so much. And before I came tonight, I said to my kids, listen, this is going to be your first opportunity to do an interview here at UMBC. I want you to come. Now the president knows them by name, so I think they did a pretty good job. I'm feeling great about that. So I have a couple things to say. I normally talk without reading, but I have a little much. I want to just make sure that I cover everything. So first off, President Hrabowski, I want to thank you so much first for taking UMBC to the top, for creating this campus here in Catonsville, which really has created opportunity for all. I am so proud to be a UMBC alum,
and I'm just proud of this university. I love it. And to the alumni committee, thank you so much for selecting me. I still remember when you called me, Irina, on my phone, and you told me the news. Thank you so much. It was, my family didn't know what to say. It was great. And I've got a couple other people I really want to say. Dean LaCourse, thank you so much. You were my professor in analytical chemistry, and I knew you were a special and innovative person, and I'm going to get to that a little bit later, but you were able to connect with me, and for that, you should be congratulated. Greg Simmons, thank you so much. You have been really good at helping to integrate us in the community and get to know and really make us feel like we're part of the UMBC community. I really appreciate that. Susie Lynch, where is she? Love you. Really, you are a great ambassador for the university. She came out to Lanham and spoke to us about UMBC before the move, and she's been with us ever since. She's not only been an ambassador for us, she's been a friend, and we're very appreciative for that. Walt Schultz, who's not here, but at BW Tech, I want to thank Vivian Armour. I want to thank in the entrepreneurship department, and I also want to thank a couple people, and then I'm going to thank at the end, but Larry and Sue O'Donnell, who came all the way from Pennsylvania. They are the people that make America dreams come true. They really supported us in the company. They have stood behind us and really made it such that the employees could purchase this company and lead our direction. Thank you so much. And Paul Christensen, I got to say something to you too, because you're the founder of Potomac, and we wouldn't be here without you. So thank you very much. I probably didn't take the most conventional path to this award compared to the past and present recipients, but I think it exemplifies the point that I like to share with my employees and children, that hard work and perseverance can go a long way towards achieving success. UMBC was a challenge for me, and at times getting my degree in biochemistry and molecular biology seemed out of reach. But I love learning and I love science, and the fact that I made it should serve as an example to anybody that you can do things, even when the going gets tough. And these are the values that form the foundation with my company moving forward, Potomac, where I've encountered very difficult challenges, but some of the most rewarding experiences of my life. And it found me a path of opportunity, and it found me a path here to UMBC, and I'm grateful for that. And I often get asked the question, what inspired you to move to UMBC? So let me tell you a little bit about Potomac. Potomac's a manufacturing company. We're in advanced manufacturing. We make really small things that I can fit in my pocket. Things like this suture right here, which is used, which we laser machine, and and our customers put radiation in it to treat people with breast and prostate cancer. Things like the UMBC campus that we 3D printed on this little chip right here, and I keep close to my heart. And things like microfluidic chips using lasers, 3D printers, micro CNC, and as small as 1 micron. And with a renaissance on their way in American manufacturing, the opportunity to integrate the company into the UMBC community with a large pool of smart, creative, and talented students was too good to pass up. Jeff Bezos, founder of Amazon, once said that in the old world, companies devoted 30% of their time to building a great service or product and 70% of their time shouting about it. In the new world, that ratio has inverted, and I could not agree more with that assessment. Being an alumnus of UMBC, I knew firsthand the caliber of the school and what a partnership with the faculty, staff, and students could mean towards putting Potomac in the best position to compete and win. However, even my greatest expectations could not have prepared me what has transpired since our move here in March. So far, we've hired 5 UMBC students in either a full, part-time, or internship position. We've got a PhD, we've got a master's, and we've got 3 undergraduates. And the depth and the contribution that they've made to this company has been unbelievable. To start off with, Amir Harandi, a UMBC PhD graduate, has made several breakthroughs for us in developing manufacturing processes related to microfluidic chips for applications such as diagnosis of concussions and blood management. Another student, Nicholas Selleck, has been working to improve the automation of our laser systems, making it easier and more efficient for our engineers to run customer projects. And finally, with the help of Susie Lynch, we were able to connect somebody from the Fine Arts Department because we wanted to put a mural up in our facility that signified our relationship with UMBC, and we called it Pathway to the Future, and it celebrates our relationship with this great university, the technology and impact that it will make on generations to come. Now, you might ask me, Mike, that's 5 students. How can they make impact so quickly? And let me tell you, last week, Dean LaCourse took me for a tour of classes and labs on campus, and what I saw blew my mind. Every morning, classes were run more like a high-tech organization rather than a traditional classroom. Students gathered around the table, each with a different responsibility, not only learning the building blocks of life and solving problems, but learning to work in a team, take responsibility for equipment, and meet deadlines. The excitement I felt rivaled any sporting event, including football or anything else that we can think of. Really, I felt so compelled and so passionate after I saw what he's building there. I called my wife, I called my mom, I said, I'm bringing you for a tour here. I realized that I was not only seeing firsthand why UMBC students are equipped to make immediate contributions to companies, but found myself benchmarking. Simply put, Dean LaCourse is a great CEO. Other notable accomplishments include partnering with Dr. Tony Farquhar to win a MIPS award that brings $228,000 to the university towards scaling up our manufacturing capacity of microfluidic chips, a potential partnership with the Mid-Atlantic Summer Nanotechnology Program being hosted here at UMBC, and a project with the students to 3D print a micro UMBC with a file that they retrieved using a drone, and allows me to keep UMBC close to my heart. Moving forward, we are planning on working closely with Vivian Armour and the Alex Brown Center for Entrepreneurship to provide resources to students to help and develop and fabricate products that they design. Also wanting to proliferate new digital fabrication technologies throughout the campus to help facilitate R&D and recruit new talent to the university. Finally, we want to serve as a manufacturing hub to support opportunities for partnership between UMBC and institutions like the University of Maryland, Baltimore, and the NIH. Potomac's culture very much parallels what Dr. Rabowski has brought to UMBC. Our core values are based on lifelong education, opportunity, social responsibility, diversity, collaboration, and hard work. And the employees of Potomac, many of whom are in attendance tonight, reflect what I consider the best of the best, and I salute them. And finally, I just want to say a few things, I know I've gone a little bit over, about the most important people in my family, most important people in my life, which is my family, my parents. My father's been at the NIH for 53 years doing research in the National Heart, Lung, and Blood Institute. It's his devotion to science and making the world a better place that really has been an inspiration to me. My mother she's like the CEO of the company. I speak to her every morning, and she says, "Are you treating the employees right? Are you developing new technology? You've got to keep going." She beats me down. We need to put her on the board of directors. And to her parents, Bill and Sally, have been faithful. They've been supportive with the company and everything, and I salute them. And finally, to my wife, who has been through a lot of challenges herself, really pales in comparison to what we've been through from a health perspective. She's my light of my life. I could never do it without her. And our 3 children, who I expect will someday, hopefully, be up here celebrating UMBC. Thank you so much.
Great. You really worked on that.
Our next award is given to Miss Calliope Parthamos, a 93 graduate in psychology, this year's outstanding alumna in the social sciences. Lisa Auction, Associate Vice President and Assistant to the President at UMBC, nominated Ms. Parthamos for this award and will introduce Calliope.
Good evening. And I'm looking at the guy backstage, and it's all good, so I'm going to go on. Our next honoree exemplifies the attitude of true grit, our retriever mascot, showing courage, resolve, and strength of character in all of her endeavors. I'm delighted to present the Outstanding Alumna in Social and Behavioral Sciences Award to Calliope Parthemos, who serves Baltimore every day as Chief of Staff to Mayor Stephanie Rawlings Blake. A member of the class of 1993, Calliope graduated from UMBC with a degree in psychology and later earned the JD at the University of Maryland School of Law. In addition to honing her powerful intellect in the classroom at UMBC, Calliope discovered her calling by participating in the Choice program at our Shriver Center, a program which continues today, serving challenged youth in Maryland's juvenile justice system through educational support and employment skill development. She went on to apply her Choice experience as a foster care caseworker and then as a Baltimore City public defender. Calliope's incredible work ethic and belief in community empowerment led to her career in Baltimore City government, where she has flourished in ways that allow her to touch the lives of many. What sets Calliope apart is the combination of passion and commitment she invests in Baltimore City's progress. As a homegrown leader with a proud Greek-American background, Calliope is in touch with the city's diverse residents and understands what needs to be accomplished to improve their lives. She leads by example, setting a no-excuses approach for herself and her staff when tackling the challenging issues facing the city. As a volunteer, Calliope has taken a leading role in the fight against breast cancer. At the age of 40, she was diagnosed with the disease, and with true heart and resiliency, she not only survives but thrives. Calliope is both fierce in her resolve and caring towards all. When asked to describe Calliope, her former GBC leadership classmate, Laura Boydston of Legg Mason, responded, "Calliope's secret is her infinite capacity for kindness and compassion. Whether it be a child's request to dance on stage or a patient's need for comfort, Calliope does not hesitate to demonstrate the vulnerability that only love for others can bring. I hope that my daughter grows into," and this is Laura, "I hope that my daughter grows into a woman like Calliope, indomitable and compassionate, brave and idealistic, passionate and kind. All the success that Calliope has attained could cause many to lose sight of what's truly important, but she never wavers. She always puts Baltimore and its people first, and through her dedicated service, the city is showing progress on important indicators, including population, educational outcomes, and employment. We here at UMBC are so proud of you, Calliope, and we know you will continue to thrive at anything you set your mind to. You're an amazing person, leader, and retriever. Congratulations."
Okay, wow. That was, I think my parents and my sisters are probably like surprised that I am at a loss for words right now, because that never happens. I am an attorney, so I thought I could wing it, and then I was sitting on stage saying, I probably should have prepared something, but then I yielded all of my time to Mike, so I think we're good. Just joking, Mike, just met you. But I am truly honored and humbled to receive this award. I think like everyone else on stage, I was sitting at my desk, which never happens at City Hall, and it was 2 seconds I think I sat at my desk that day. And I answered the phone, and they said that, "Hi, Calliope, can we speak to Calliope Parthemos?" And I said, "This is she." And they were like, "Oh, we're surprised you answered your own phone." And I said, "Never happens." And then they said, "You got the alumni, award." And I said, "Are you sure?" And they said, and they said yes. And I said, "Well, how did that happen?" And they said, "Well, Lisa nominated you." So Lisa, thank you very much for your confidence, and thank you very much for the nomination. Thank you as well to the Alumni Association and to the nominating committee. I'm truly humbled by this award. I want to thank my parents who are here, my sisters who are here, my nephew. Stand up, Dominic. Come on, Dominic. He's a sophomore at UMBC. And my little cousin, Alec Pulianis, who just graduated from UMBC, so he's an alumni now, recent grad. So I wanted to thank them, and you know, I'm Greek American, so I have a whole bunch of cousins, aunts, and uncles. It is what it is. So I do have my cousins here, Alex's parents, and I also have Miss Linda and Mr. George, and it's such an honor for me that they're here. You know, it really does take a village to raise children, and I'm very blessed in the Greek American community that I had that, and they were my advisors in our Greek church youth group, and basically raised me. So thank you. It's an honor that you're here today. So when I attended UMBC, it really wasn't expected, I think, for anyone to go to college. I think now my nephews and my niece, my beautiful niece is in the back up there. Hi, Angelica. It is very much expected. They don't have a choice. I'm letting them all know. You will go to college and you will graduate. But that wasn't how it was for us growing up. We were children of Greek immigrants. And what we did understand was hard work and perseverance and no excuses. So when I came to school, I really didn't know what I wanted to do. I just knew that it was very important for me to be here. And I was the first person in my family to have graduated from college. So as Lisa mentioned, you can only imagine that I came to college. I was going to be a doctor, which makes every parent, including Greek parents, especially proud. And then I really worked at the choice program, and I absolutely loved it. I loved the children. I related to the children, and I felt as if I could have a career in public service. And I did. I was a social worker, and then I was a public defender for many, many years. But you can only imagine my parents' surprise when I came home after graduation and was so excited I got my first job. And I run in and I was like, I got a job. And my parents were like, what are you going to be doing? And I said, well, I'm going to be a caseworker for the Department of Social Services. So I explained what that meant in terms of the most vulnerable children in the city. I wanted to work in Baltimore City. So my dad did not understand. You're going to be taking kids away from their parents? You went to school for that? It just didn't make sense. Didn't make sense. And then didn't understand. And then he also did not understand that I was going to be making $16,900 a year with no benefits. But the choice program in my career, I think that UMBC, when I came here, it was a sleeper commuter school. It was a school that was affordable, but it was also a school that had a great academic education and a great academic reputation. But for me, it was never a sleeper commuter school. It was a school that I came to that I thought would provide me with the building blocks for just infinite possibilities. So I really want to thank President Rabowski. I think without his leadership, UMBC would not be at all what it is today. So let's give him a big round of applause. He is truly one of my personal heroes, and I have the utmost respect for him, as I'm sure everybody here does. And as Chief of Staff to the Mayor, I do have the opportunity to meet people throughout the city, and people that are leaders in the business community, and the educational community, and the tech community. And there's nowhere that I go in Baltimore City where I do not meet someone who graduated from UMBC. And we work together to address the city's challenges, and we work together to grow Baltimore. I hope that I continue to represent the best of what UMBC is, and I give back as much as UMBC has given to me. And I hope that I do represent the thinkers of the world and show how much we can devote our skills to care about people. Something that really struck a chord with me when President Rabowski was speaking was inclusive excellence. That UMBC is an institution of inclusive excellence. And I think that is a wonderful example of what this institution is. And I think it is also a great example of what UMBC continues to be to the children and to the students of Baltimore City. It does not have low expectations for our children. It expects nothing but the best from them. And for that, I continue to thank you. Thank you all very much.
Oh, you touched my heart. With that first generation college stuff, I love that. Oh, excellent.
Wow. Our next award is given to Miss Hediya Shafi, a 2004 MFA graduate in Imaging and Digital Arts. This year's Outstanding Alumna in Visual and Performing Arts, she was nominated by Dr. Kathy Odell, Special Assistant to the Dean for Education and Arts Partnerships and Associate Professor of Visual Arts. Dr. Odell will provide introductory remarks.
It's really an honor to be standing here, and I just want to first thank Perminda Jacob, who's here. Dr. Jacob helped me write the nomination packet for Hedia Shafi, and we could not be more thrilled that she won this award, although we knew she would. It's a little unusual to announce an award or introduce a visual artist without visuals. So bear with me and picture this. Thousands of narrow, hand-painted strips of paper. On each has been written the word Eshka, the Farsi word for passion. Each strip, or page, as Hedia calls them, has then been tightly wound, stood on its end, and fits snugly alongside others inside large, geometrically shaped frames. Eshka is thus hidden, or is it secured? This describes only one example of the dazzling work of Hedia Shafi, who, since receiving her MFA in Imaging and Digital Arts in 2004, has steadily risen to international acclaim. From the local Baker Award, which won her an exhibition at the Baltimore Museum of Art, that was 2009, to the France and Virginia Bader Award for DC area artists, that was 2011, to the Marie Walsh Sharp Award, which provided her much coveted studio space in New York City, that was 2012, to a place on the short list for the International Jamil Prize for artwork inspired by Islamic tradition. That was 2012 also. Then there was 2013, one single year, when her works were acquired by none other than the Metropolitan Museum in New York City, the Los Angeles County Museum of Art, the British Museum in London, and the Farjam Collection in Dubai, and I could go on. Plus, she's represented by 3 commercial galleries, one in New York, one in London, and one in Philadelphia. These are accomplishments for which all visual artists hope, but few achieve in an entire lifetime, let alone a mere decade. And through it all, Hedia has given back to UMBC, visiting campus to share tips and to inspire the next generation of artists to graduate from UMBC. Please join me in applauding the inimitable Hedia Shafi, 2014 Alumna of the Year awardee in Visual and Performing Arts. Hedia.
I kept toggling between, I'm going to be really nervous. I'm going to try not to be nervous. But I think for everybody who just preceded me in addressing you guys, I think I was starting to cry. So I will try to get through this without becoming too emotional. But I'm truly so honored by this recognition. And I want to thank Kathy for her introduction of me. No one is born an artist, but rather becomes one. In my journey to becoming an artist and choosing this path in life, which for me is really free from the notion of retirement, I've faced many and some very interesting challenges. What I learned here at UMBC gave me the needed tools to succeed. I learned to focus on the journey and not the destination. I have so many people to thank. Everyone at the Imaging and Digital Arts program has played a vital role in my process of fulfilling my dream. From the first day meeting, Vin Grable, from working with Sims Gardner, from knowing Professor Tim Noe, Lisa Moore, and every single professor that I've taken classes with or had a conversation with really gave of themselves generously and helped me put together the building blocks of my career as an artist. A few will remain lifelong mentors, so I would like to take this opportunity to recognize and thank them tonight. They are affiliates of Associate Professor Sims Gardner. I don't know if he's here tonight or not, but I worked for Sims in the really world-renowned gallery that puts on amazing exhibitions here. And so I honed my skills as someone who works with works of art and organizes exhibitions. But also, I took a lot of time from Sims, and I would have these very long conversations with him about what it means to be an artist, what it means to have a career in the arts, and so on. And also Associate Professor Praminda Jacob, who's here tonight and was one of my nominators, and Associate Professor Kathy Odell, who both of them have had significant left a significant mark on me as a person. Among the many gifts each of you, Praminda and Kathy, have given me is the valuable gift of listening. And I cannot thank you enough. I also want to thank my family for their support, especially my parents, Ms. Mahinizadi and Jamshid Shafi, who are here tonight, and were the first to nurture my interest in the visual arts. And lastly, my husband, Jason Fagan. Jason's contribution to my journey as an artist are endless. If I were to name them, we would be here for a very, very long time. But simply put, without Jason, my work would not be as good. I like to end, and as you can tell, my talk is very short. I like to end with this thought by Louise Bourgeois, one of the most important artists in modern and contemporary art. She says, "I am not what I am what I do with my hands." Thank you.
Wow. Brilliant. Brilliant. Sometimes less is more.
Our next award is our Distinguished Service Award, presented to Mr. Gib Mason. A 1995 economics major, he was nominated by Katie Collins of 2012 graduating class, Marketing Success Coordinator at the UMBC Training Centers. Ms. Collins will provide introductory remarks.
During my time here at UMBC, I found this place to have so many wonderful mentors. But one of my most remarkable mentors showed up during my senior year in a class called The Entrepreneurial Mindset, taught by Gib Mason. Gib brought to his class a wealth of hands-on experience in entrepreneurship, innovation, organizational development, all garnered from his time transforming numerous organizations. Within the classroom, Gib taught the art of solving real-life problems. He empowered students to bring ideas to life and to learn from both their successes and failures. And he did this with transparency and authenticity. That class was such a remarkable experience for me. It changed my life, and it continues to be remarkable for his current students. Gib's impact extends far beyond the classroom, and I could go on for a very long time about how far that impact has spread, but I will just capture just a few pieces. That impact is driven by a passion for service, coaching, and mentoring. He founded the Be for Students Foundation, which later became a part of Big Brothers Big Sisters. He has served on the board of directors for the Alex Brown Entrepreneurship Center, during which time he helped to create the Entrepreneurship and Innovation minor. He has facilitated countless workshops and strategic planning sessions with many UMBC departments, as well as leadership training and lectures for students and student organizations. On paper, Gibb's experience is about transforming organizations, but in real life, he transforms lives. In speaking with Gibb, you'll often hear that his goal every day is to be the nicest guy in the room, and to me, this award confirms that he is one of the nicest guys in the room. So please join me in welcoming Gibb Mason.
I also remind Katie that I oftentimes fail at that one particular goal on a daily basis. So thank you, Katie. Very kind. Katie also happened to be not just a student, but she's also a teammate of mine at UMBC's training centers today. I'd also like to thank the board, the alumni board. Very, very appreciative. I was shocked that I was even considered for the award, and then completely humbled when they said, yes, you have actually won this award. And not unlike some of the others here, it's like, are you certain it's me? Yeah. So I returned last night from a conference called the Back End of Innovation. And the directors of several large companies, Johnson Controls, Nordstrom, and many others, to name a few, were in agreement about leveraging organizations that sit outside yours as a way to really drive and spur innovation inside your organization. And I think the spirit of innovation that Dr. Hrabowski has instilled in the university, its faculty, staff, and students, is what has made it really easy for me, and I think personally gratifying for me, and I think many others as well, to engage as alumni in the university. As Katie mentioned, I've had the opportunity to share my outside perspective with a bunch of folks across the university, and like many others, I'd like to make sure that I capture those people here with some appreciation. Vivian Armour has been mentioned earlier. She's the director of the Alex Brown Center, and she was the one that pulled me in with many of the Kauffman Fellows to help to develop the minor in entrepreneurship and innovation. So Vivian, I know you're not here, but thank you. Dr. Art Johnson, who I don't believe is here tonight either, he was a provost of the university a couple of provosts back. He inspired me to try teaching, and I have great appreciation for that as well. Dr. Bill LaCourse, who has also been mentioned previously, the Dean of the College of Natural and Mathematical Sciences, and interestingly enough, the entrepreneurship program resided there first, and I suggested to Bill the last time I thought about chemistry, we still were using slide rules, so it's an interesting place for these courses to be seated. But I want to thank Bill for giving me the gift of the first-year seminar course called Creativity, Innovation, and Invention, and a little bit more on that in just a moment. Greg Simmons, Dr. Lee Hawthorne, Michelle Wolf, Dr. Nancy Young, for having the courage to let me in, to challenge you and facilitate your strategic planning processes. Great appreciation for having that opportunity. Kent Malwitz, Dr. John Martello, John Lau, and all my teammates at UMBC training centers, really for making the room for innovation and growth to happen in our organization on a day-to-day basis. And then finally, and I see a few here, all my students for not only engaging with me, but the entrepreneurship and innovation classroom experience, and really, most importantly, with one another and with great vigor. The classroom experience is just that. It's an experience. I've had the opportunity to teach 3 different courses here and create those 3 courses. One I mentioned earlier, the entrepreneurial mindset. One we taught this summer, innovation, creative problem solving, and the socialpreneur, where 3 of my students, would you stand up for just a sec? There we go. Give them a hand. Those 3, coupled with 12 additional students I referred to as my all-star team, took on living classrooms and in a 5-week period produced about a 150-page report, along with a website, PayPal accounts, multiple products for their Fresh Start program to add to the litany of products that they're already building there. And many of those students have gone on to continue working with Fresh Start. And then finally, the final course, Creativity, Innovation, and Invention, is a first-year seminar class. And for those of you not familiar with those, I'd like to take just a minute and talk about these. They're limited to 20 students. They're designed to be project-oriented. They also use some of the traditional faculty teaching formats, but mostly they're about experiential learning. And in this course, Creativity, Innovation, and Invention, students go from, in 16 weeks from day one, I have no idea what I've gotten myself into, yes? No idea what I've gotten myself into, to 16 weeks later, a product in the marketplace. In 2012, the first time I taught this class, as a handoff from Dr. Bill, the group created Banana Bones. And Banana Bones was a turn-by-turn, walking, turn-by-turn directional application. Not only did they create a product and take it to market, but they also created a company, sold that company, took 25% of the proceeds and gave it back to the university.
We got money from it. Folks.
There you go.
Give them a hand for giving the university money.
Give them a hand.
Thank you very much.
25% of the proceeds back to the university to help outfit the EntreSpace, which is an entrepreneurial innovation space here on campus. Last year, the class created Vici, Voice Interactive Computer Interface. The students there would tell you that it provides you with a third hand while using your computer. Many of those students are still pursuing that opportunity and are in discussions with Microsoft. By the way, these are predominantly 18-year-old entering freshmen.
Keep your fingers crossed. That could be more money for us.
And you know, when we took pictures, he said, everybody say money.
Money.
And it turned out to be the best picture, apparently. But those students are in conversation with Microsoft. And the current class, which just started 4 or 5 weeks ago, has developed a testing device that, while connected to your phone, you can dip in your drink and check for date rape drugs. And then the application itself will give you guidance as to what to do based on what you find. So from commercially viable products to socially impactful products, 18-year-olds in 16 weeks. I don't consider...
For that last one. That's very impressive.
Yeah, here we go.
That's very nice.
I don't consider myself an instructor in the class, more a facilitator, creating space for the students to learn from one another, learn from their research, to have fun, and to learn to compete in the marketplace. Finally, my family, which I knew I would do this. My wife, Mary. Thank you. Charles is a board member of our organization. You guys give me love and support to pursue my dreams. Living a dream.
Ah, it's beautiful. Beautiful. Really nice. Beautiful. Really beautiful.
A 2005 graduate in Biological Sciences, our Rising Star Award is given to Mr. Isaac Kinde. He was nominated by Mr. Michael Summers, professor in chemistry and biochemistry, and Howard Hughes Medical Institute investigator at UMBC. Dr. Summers will provide introductory remarks.
Well, let me just say, I am really, truly delighted to introduce Isaac Kinde as this year's recipient of UMBC's Rising Star Award. Isaac is just a terrific young man who turned down admission to Stanford to join the Meyerhoff program at UMBC just a little over a decade ago. He joined my lab as a freshman, where he conducted research on what the parts of the AIDS virus look like and how they might be inhibited. In fact, his studies led to the development of new compounds that inhibit the virus in test tubes that we hope someday might be useful in humans. Isaac co-authored 3 papers from his studies at UMBC, including one in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences. Now, this is a big deal for those of you who aren't in academics. I know of faculty members I know of faculty members in the United States who have been tenured on the basis of fewer accomplishments. Isaac graduated from UMBC in 2005 magna cum laude with a degree in biological sciences, and then he matriculated to the MD PhD program at Johns Hopkins. At Hopkins, his accomplishments have been even more impressive. His PhD studies with Bert Vogelstein have led to major new insights into the genetics of cancer progression. In his most recent work, Isaac has discovered a new non-invasive method for detecting cancers in women that normally go unnoticed until it's too late. Actually, ovarian cancer is one that can be detected very early by the new method that he's developed.
Give him a round of applause.
Absolutely. Isaac's work is going to revolutionize women's health care in the U.S. and around the world. He already has 13 publications in top journals, including recent papers in Nature, Science Translational Medicine, and other top journals. And he's also a co-author on 6 patents related to new methods for cancer screening. Based primarily on these accomplishments, Isaac was named last year by Forbes magazine as one of their top 30 under 30 in science and healthcare in the U.S. And he was also recognized as a game changer by Men's Fitness magazine. I want to tell you just quickly about the kind of determination Isaac has. When he came to UMBC, he moved from California, where you know it's always warm. And as a freshman, he came along with us on our group retreat up to Maine in the winter, where we go skiing. And he got out on the mountain with us his first day wearing a windbreaker, which was all he had. And it happened to be a particularly cold day that with the wind chill, the temperature was minus 55 degrees. That's determination. In addition to being a truly superb scientist, Isaac is one of the most humble and conscientious people I know. He was a terrific mentor to many undergraduates who worked in my lab and followed in his pathway. And in many ways, he was also my own mentor. Please join me in congratulating Isaac for being a true UMBC Rising Star.
Good evening. It's with great honor and pride that I accept the Rising Star Award. I'd like to thank the UMBC Alumni Association for selecting me this year. It's at UMBC where I learned lots of skills, particularly how to do research that have proven to be invaluable so far. So thank you, UMBC. I would also like to thank Dr. Rabowski and the entire Meyerhoff program for creating the structure for me to integrate research into my academic curriculum. As a distractible young kid, fresh out of high school, the dedicated program staff were instrumental in keeping me focused for preparing for a career in science. It's especially significant for me to be nominated by Dr. Summers, my college research mentor. He was the first person to show me how exciting research could be. In fact, I was convinced that I was going to cure HIV as a college student. Needless to say, we have a little bit more work to do. But I'll never forget those 3 years where I dreamt that the work that I was doing in his lab could one day solve a big problem in public health. And that's a lesson and that's a dream that I've tried to keep alive in all the work that I've done since then. And I'm not sure if Dr. Summers remembers, but almost 15 years ago to the day, I wrote him an email as a junior in high school. And in the email, I introduced myself and I shared with him how I'd heard about him during my visit to UMBC and as part of my tour of different college campuses. And I concluded the email with the following. I realize you've taken your valuable time to read my note, and I'm very thankful. I just want to express my desire to be one of your future mentees at UMBC. So Dr. Summers, thank you for reading my email, and thank you for agreeing to be my mentor.
want Josh, I want the two brothers to hear this. So the older brother went to Hopkins, and Josh, the younger brother is in the MD PhD at Harvard. Just want you to know that, all right? So you've got, they're both brilliant, so you have that opportunity, all right? The two of you, all right? They're both excellent. But they both were at UMBC first. We had them both. Get that? They're both UMBC first. You got that? That's what's important, all right?
In our first year of having the Outstanding Faculty Award, we are delighted to announce that the first recipient is Dr. Ann Spence, Professor of the Practice in the Department of Mechanical Engineering. She was nominated by Jamie Gerganis, class of '04 and class of '11, Associate Director of Engineering Education Initiatives and Instructor in Mechanical Engineering at UMBC, who will provide introductory remarks.
All right, let's get this party started. Good morning. No, just kidding. Right. It is with great privilege that I stand here tonight to honor Dr. Ann Spence with 2 awards, both with the Outstanding Faculty of the Year and possibly more prestigious, the Superhero of the Decade Award. So you're probably wondering, what am I talking about? Wondering, what is the Superhero of the Decade Award? Well, yours is here too. As most of you are aware, behind every superhero is a seemingly ordinary person. Take Superman, he's really Clark Kent. And Batman is just Bruce Wayne. How about Wonder Woman? Who is she really? I am here to tell you the truth, that Wonder Woman is Dr. Ann Spence. And just like Clark Kent, Ann is the true source of her superhero powers. Wonder Woman gained her title following a ceremonial contest in which she was declared the most skilled and intelligent member of her tribe. Ann went through similar ceremonial contests, graduate school. Yes, that's funny. And was the first woman crowned with a PhD in aerospace engineering at College Park. Wonder Woman, aka Ann, embodies the vision of a woman as intelligent, honest, and kind. She has great powers of persuasion, convincing and encouraging women to persevere in engineering, reforming K-12 and undergraduate engineering education. Wonder Woman is unlike other superheroes. Her mission wasn't just to stop crime, but to reform criminals into upright citizens as well. Ann believes in the best of every student that enters engineering. No, these are not criminals. But when a student is going through hard trials, even when they may not have had the best semester, she supports and believes that they can achieve their dreams. Wonder Woman is always equipped with an arsenal of weapons. First, the lasso of truth. Ann uses her belief in truth and her abilities to encourage others as a lasso. With all the projects she has taken on and the students she mentors, her lasso seems infinitely elastic and unbreakable. Just like Cassie, Wonder Girl, she continues after all these years to mentor me. Clearly, that is one strong lasso. Magic bracelets. These are just a great fashion statement. I'm sorry. And then finally, her invisible plane or jet. Every good aerospace engineer in a superhero's cape has to have an invisible jet. Ann uses her jet to pilot innovation. Finally, I'd like to end with something personal that I wrote in my recommendation. By any measure, Ann is an outstanding professional, mentor, teacher, and colleague. But it is Ann's leadership, both here and at UMBC nationally, that best defines her. Anne has led me to grow beyond anything I could ever imagined and to flourish into someone with the kind of resume that a career I once envied. Through the various initiatives, apparently I can't read what I wrote, initiatives in which Anne participates, she provides the same guidance every day for students elementary through graduate levels. I am unbelievably blessed to work alongside Anne as we grow our shared goal in a rich STEM education. Anne's guidance has enabled me to grow personally and professionally. I've been lucky enough to take on several roles and to help create, develop, and many programs that we currently offer today. With Anne, as many students who are here today, as I see in the back and here, are encouraged to reach a little farther. So we congratulate you, Anne Spence, on this award. Oh, especially the superhero. Please turn around the back. Yeah, see my students turn around.
Oh, those engineers.
Yeah.
Those engineers.
Yes.
Thank you. Keep standing. Let me get a picture of that. Wait a minute. Wait. Don't sit down. Wait. I gotta get a picture.
We have to set the bar high. It is like the first one. Sorry.
I love it.
Thank you all very much. Y'all did good. You're good. All right. 13 years ago, my dear friend and colleague, Taryn Bales, convinced me to leave the University of Maryland Southern Campus and come up here to UMBC to have some fun, writing some grants, teaching some students. And it was one of the best things I ever did. So thank you, Taryn, for that. Welcome. I just want to thank a few folks tonight. I want to thank my husband, Lloyd, for leaving Texas and coming with me to Maryland so I could get my PhD. For my sons, Tyler and Austin, for putting up with a geeky mom who does like experiments and builds things in the backyard. My friends, Sandy, Nick, and Sue, who came to support me tonight, who let me into their social group even though I'm not incredibly social. And to my parents especially, who couldn't be here tonight, Bob and Tommy Ruth Edding, who, for those of you who've watched the Verizon commercial, they let me get my dress dirty, they let me play with power tools, and they really helped to make me into the person that I've become today. And finally, I'd like to thank the Alumni Association, our alumni, and my wonderful students up there who make me smile every day. Thank you guys very much.
I think it's so special. Those kids are here.
Pretty impressive group of alumni awardees, I would say. So if Ken Pittman would come back for a moment.
That has to be collectively the most difficult act to follow. So if you would join me in a round of applause for all of you. There's also another group of people I'd like to thank tonight and would ask that you join me in a round of applause for every member of the UMBC staff team that helped orchestrate and execute this event tonight. Truly remarkable.
So
thank you again for joining us this evening and for your support of UMBC and the Alumni Association. Before I ask Freeman to make final remarks, I want to thank all of our donors and all of our event sponsors. Your generosity will support current UMBC students through the scholarship program. If anyone would like to join our donors in making a gift this evening in honor of one of our outstanding honorees, please stop by the registration table. I also hope that you'll join us for other events during Retriever Fever Weekend, whether it's to attend Retriever Rally in the RAC tomorrow evening, or one of the many special alumni and family activities on Saturday, such as the Homecoming Carnival or the UMBC Crab Feast. Each year, we're building on UMBC's homecoming traditions, and we're all proud to be Retrievers. So please join us at a dessert reception after the ceremony concludes. And now, Freeman, would you please give us your final remarks?
Very brief remarks. And we do hope you will join us at the reception. We were cooking all night, all right? It was Aristotle who said that excellence is never an accident. Excellence is never an accident. It is the result of sincere effort, high intention, and intelligent execution. It represents the wisest choice among many alternatives. And then he said, choice, not chance, determines your destiny. Choice, not chance, determines your destiny. At UMBC, we choose inclusive excellence. Inclusive excellence. Good evening.